I'm Earth Jallow. This is Getting Down to Earth on the world's greatest radio, TalkTainmentRadio.com. Radio the way it should be heard. Let's get down, y'all. TalkTainmentRadio.com, the world's greatest radio. That's radio the way it should be heard. This is Earth, and you are tuned in to Getting Down to Earth. I'm in the studio with my co-host, Kamelah Terry, and also Barbara Freeman. We are discussing the truth about pimping. Somebody had asked earlier made a Facebook post, okay, and they were asking if, do you think that people can change? And I say, for me, absolutely.
Who, the pimps?
No. People. And I never give up on people unless, of course, there's some kind of mental health issue, like, schizophrenia or things, or, things like that. Okay, you kind of like said, all right? But if you are an average person, healthy, normal, so-called normal person, then I believe that people can and do change.
Yes.
I look at myself. I'm not the same person I was 5-10 years ago. Y'all better be glad about that.
Hey, here.
Okay, because somebody...
Exactly. As soon as something happens, I'll be like, they better be glad I ain't the first
person. Girl.
Okay.
And sometimes the old me creeps.
Yeah. They be packing up stuff like on The Color Purple. When the lady started packing up on the organ.
Right.
That's...
Okay, you got to find the nearest exit.
Exactly.
The nearest exit. I wanted to ask a couple of questions. How did your mom's love help to rescue you? Because I know that when we talked, you said your mom never gave up on you. She would come down at night, look for you in the crack houses, walk up and down the streets, find and call your friends and say, "Could you please go and get my baby?" Because a lot of the family of people who are having addiction problems, they give up. Oh no, you can't come here. You're gonna take my TV. You're gonna steal my. You know what I'm saying? But how did your mom's love for you and not giving up on you help to save you from them streets?
Well, first of all, like I said before, my mom was being, abused and everything. And I think one of the things that sticked out for me is I never understood, how my mother could let this man rule the fact that I could not come home, but out there in the streets, and doing drugs, I became numb to the fact, and when my mother was coming out there looking for me, she was paying people, just like you said, she was doing all those things. And I knew that she loved me, that she needed to make a way out for herself first,
right,
before she could make a way out for me. But one of the things that my mother did is my mother prayed. Like I said, my mother, she stayed up at nights, watching the TV to see if they was going to, pronounce me dead or say they found, a body,
right.
Or she would get that knock on her door, and one of the things is my mother, I know that she never gave up. When I went to jail, she was there. She raised my children. My children was there on visits. I'm talking about when it was blizzards outside, and everything. My mother was bringing me food. She was bringing me outfits. She stopped the money, though, when I started jumping out at the red lights. I'm going to keep it real.
We're real.
She stopped, giving me the money in the car, and things like that. But, my mom, once I have a brother that's deceased, and once my brother passed this life, she left that man.
Okay.
She left my stepfather. She left him, and I know that's where she was able to come in and love me and show me, that you my daughter, and no matter what, because she kept her door open for me.
So when you were ready, because you got to be ready.
Ready.
When your heart was ready, when your mind was set, you knew, I know where I can go.
Exactly.
You knew that the door wasn't shut, so
exactly.
that's important.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I'm gonna say this, and most times I went, it was on holidays. She'd be like, she'd be like, just come home, it's Thanksgiving, this
right.
and that. I would call. Other than that, my mom would hear from me, throughout the year, and I'm just being honest about that.
Right.
But on holidays, I would go, and she would want me to stay. And things like that. I mean, she would buy me diamond rings. Like, she tried to, she had me outfits and stuff. And she was just trying to show me love in a way that she only knew how.
Right.
At that moment.
And I guess she figured, well, if the guys are buying you diamond rings and coats and outfits and whatnot, if I do it, maybe I can get my baby back.
But that pool of drugs,
it's
it was
a beast.
I still went back. I still went back out. But let me tell you, what my mother did, the best thing my mother could have ever in life done for me, is she came and seen me at the Jackson Pike Workhouse, and she usually would come with my children. Now my children is grown. She been bringing my children since they were babies. But at this point, my mother came in and I looked at her and she was standing up and I didn't see the kids and I'm looking around. I'm like, well, Mom, where the kids at? And she said, baby. She said, no, don't even sit down. And I'm like, huh? Yeah, she said don't sit. Exactly. She didn't even grab the phone.
Right.
She was saying it through the glass loud enough so I can hear it. Like,
I bet you knew sign language then.
you know what I'm saying? Like, get this right here. And she said, you know what? She said, I'm tired. She said, I have been coming down here since your children was babies. And they grown now. She said, and you know what? She said, I'm not coming down here. I'm not driving them down here. I'm not leaving you my money. She said, I brought you some whites. I brought you a Bible. She said, they feed you. She said, you need to get it together. I'm turning you over to God.
I mean, not sometimes. That's all the time.
And you know what? I think that's the hardest thing, but it's the easiest, that my mother would have ever done.
And sometimes I think us holding on keeps people out there.
It hinders them.
Because we become codependent and we enable them. But, my girlfriend tell me all the time, if you let him go, he will figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
He will find a ride. So-and-so will find a job. So-and-so will find something to eat. But they come to you, help me.
No.
And I'm gonna tell you this is because, and not getting all spiritual up in here, but it's just the true fact for me, is that, and what I noticed today and the women that I sponsor, and advocate for and work with.
And that's what we're going to talk about.
Yes, and work with is that, we gotta allow them to go through what they go through because you know what, like I used to tell the court system, y'all keep picking me up and wasting these taxpayers money, and stuff like that, and I like getting high. At least that was illusion that I had gave to myself. Is I'm out here, I like getting high. You know what I'm saying? Y'all arresting me on trespassing. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like, seriously though, so then when that day let me out after being locked up for 14 days, I'm right back out there. But you know what? We have to allow ourselves to go through what we're going to go through because God is allowing us to go through it for a reason.
Yeah. You got testimony after that.
Exactly.
Ain't nothing better than experience.
Exactly. Let me say this. I'm not embarrassed about anything that I went through. If I could change some things that I went through in life, would I? Yeah, because maybe it would have been a different road. But I thank God for what I have been through because I wouldn't be the woman that I am today.
You doggone straight.
And I'm going to say that I have been through trials and tribulations, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just one of the stories that you read in the Bible, but my name is Barbara. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. And one of the things when I talk to women is that, we can't throw them money. We can't dress them up. We can't, we want them to look nice, offer them a shower, or something like that. But guess what? You're going to have to walk through your storm. To get to the end for that rainbow.
And it really starts, and I think anybody can relate to this, when you decide to do something different is when the SHIT hits the fan. It doesn't get easy because you say, you know what, I had an epiphany, the Lord, everybody didn't pray, I don't want this no more, I'm going to do right. And then the rainbow come out and little people start skipping through flowers. Like, no, that's when the BS starts.
Exactly.
Because your test is going to come. Because are you really about what you say you want to do?
That's right.
Can you talk some about, did you have another question?
No, you go right in.
Because kind of segueing into the program. You
That's
have a program called Catch Court.
Good, wonderful.
Which I've been explaining to people what catch court is, kind of like drug court, and people on the streets really don't know.
They really don't know. But guess what? You tune in to Talk Tame and Radio, you get educated.
And you hear it here.
So talk to us about this catch court, because you were the first.
Yes, I was the first client for catch court.
And what is catch court?
Catch court stands for Changing Actions to Change Habits.
I didn't know that.
Yes, it was brought about from a judge named Judge Paul Herbert. And this judge one day looked at a woman, and she was all beat up and bruised up, and she stood upon him with a soliciting case. And just for some reason, God works in mysterious ways. He said, well, where is the person that beat her?
Why he in a
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
And there wasn't a person. And women had never been looked at as victims. We was always the ones, that was arrested and brought in or getting out of a John's car, or so forth. And so, after that point, I don't know, what came about. Him and some judges got together and talked about it or whatever. I went to court one day and I tried to go to mental health court, like you said. I was trying to claim the same, girl. You hear me?
Yeah.
But that judge said, no.
I got something special for you.
Yeah, she been doing this a little bit too long. You understand what I'm saying? So, anyway. And they came to me and said, they have this program that has not even started yet. you know, and that it's going to be for women that has prostitution, you know, soliciting cases. And seeing that I wasn't even on a leg. You know what I'm saying? I was all the way down. I hit that bottom.
Was this big?
Really? Man, 73 pounds.
You think I'm this big?
Really? Yes.
Half of this.
Yeah, my daughter little over there. I mean,
right.
I was 73 pounds. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Soaking wet. You know what I'm saying? You could have turned me upside down and everything, and the hair wouldn't even made a difference. But the thing, I was little. I brought some pictures in my phone so you can see that today of those mug shots. You know, and where that lifestyle had brought me. But one of the things is that, you know, when they said this program, I was willing to try anything at this point. But I'm going to tell you, something was different for me this time, because when I went to jail, I prayed. Instead of getting up on that bunk, going into a coma for about 3 weeks, 3 days to a week, you know what I'm saying? I prayed and I said, something just came over me, and I said, God, I can't do this no more. I know that you have something better for me, because even though that I was out there using, I was always praying. I was always singing too, because I sing. And so they was always, you know what I'm saying, like, man, she always singing. They thought it was a radio I was carrying around, but it was me. But I was always singing to God, you know what I'm saying? Right. One thing my mother, we did go to church, you know, every now and then. And if not, then me and my brother went on our own. But to get back to the program, so, you know, I got out, and the program is on Thursdays, every Thursdays at 1:30, 12C at 375 Franklin County Municipal Courts. And what it is women that go before the judge. You know, you work on self-esteem, you work on the trauma, you work on things like a little girl on the inside. You know, you work on the domestic part, you work on molestation, things like that. You know, and something about me is when I got in that courtroom, you know, and they would be like, you know, well, who like coming to court and not in trouble? Right. You know what I'm saying? So I'm raising my hand and I'm like, me? You know, but I'm telling you, I used to tear that courtroom floor up, and I made it live. And I'm just telling you, like, it was so beautiful, because not only did I get to go every Thursday and stand in this courtroom up there like if I was approaching the judge at his bench, but I was turning towards my sisters, and volunteers started to come in and be a part of the court, and I was dumping, and I was talking about it, and I started freeing my spirit. You know what I'm saying? And I just started coming back alive on the inside. And I started to grow, and I started to mature, and I started to find that womanhood inside myself. And then people was nodding, you know what I'm saying? They was coming in agreement. And then I knew that I'm not the only one that went through this. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, right. And sometimes it takes somebody else's story to match yours for you to be like, I'm not alone. I'm not alone.
Because don't we always feel like we're the only one?
Always. Exactly.
Always.
And you know what hinders us? Because we don't share.
We don't talk about it.
We don't talk about it.
Keep us sick.
Especially incest molestation.
Exactly. You know? I mean, we got women, you know what I'm saying? You know, my parents sold me. You know what I'm saying? My dad was raping me. My mom didn't believe me.
My mom was giving me to her boyfriend since I was 7.
Selling me to the dope man. I mean, we got all of that.
All of that.
You understand what I'm saying?
It's real
and it's real out in Columbus, Ohio.
In Columbus,
you know, when I say that I was a prostitute and I was on West Side, North, I ain't go to the South Side. I keep talking about that South Side. I don't know. Something about that South End. You know what I'm saying? But I done been on every side of town, every suburb, the hotels in Columbus, Ohio. And everybody needs to be educated, because if you got a child, you got a niece, you know what I'm saying, whatever it is, if you got a next door, it take a village to raise a child. You might need to have your ears open for the one next door.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
And that's another thing that we don't do today as black women. Y'all know y'all used to be outside and you get caught down the street around the corner and Miss Willie be like, oh yeah, you know, I'm telling your mama as she's slapping you and you trying to run through the okay? We don't do that.
Today they turn their head. Act like they don't
turn their head or be like,
but you know what?
or you take it to the mom and she be like, whatever, don't tell me nothing. You can't talk to my child like that. You be looking like, really?
But you know what? We have to stand up and take that chance.
Yes.
Because there's always going to be a mother that's like, thank you. Because I don't care what neighborhood I live in, knock on the neighbor's door. I bet you I could leave my kid at home at night by herself, because I know my neighbors and I make that connection. But I think we think that everybody's crazy now, and we really don't know who to trust, so we just kind of keeping our own. You know, and a lot of people are. I mean, we live in a sick place, so we're scared to open up and do that community thing.
Everybody has somebody in their circle.
That's right.
You see, somebody in your family, and if you think you've arrived, then your nieces and your little cousins and the next door neighbor, like you said, they have not. And it is your job, your responsibility to nurture the next sister.
Well, see, this is what we got today. We have ghetto moms. And I'm just going to keep it real. Where they be like, don't talk to my child like that, and you address me, and you do this, and you do that. But see, when you ain't looking, your child might be doing something that's going, you know, it might cause them to take off and be transformed into this world.
Absolutely.
Or you know what? They learned all that stuff from ghetto mom.
Exactly.
So ghetto mom's trying to keep the
ghetto
she don't want her business out there.
Exactly.
Ghetto mom trying to keep
because
the
the little boy who took a joint to school got it from home.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, how do you get
so
it?
if you trifling, you can't. I mean, you can't accept that.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you. You have another piece that you do, Freeman.
The Freeman Project.
The Freeman Project.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell us about the Freeman Project.
The Freeman Project. First, let me say this. You know, just one day, you know, seeing that, like I said, they were coming up to me and they were like, these ladies, you know, they're listening to you, and you know, you are leading by example, you know, and and everything that you do. And one of the things, first off, was based on keeping it real. And that's where I had to get real with myself in order to get real with them and for them to get real with themselves, you know. Like, no, all our Johns ain't come to the house, baby. We went outside on the corner, you know what I'm saying? And we walked up and down the street. But so once the women started opening up to me, I went home and I prayed about it. And like I said, first I started in my motivational speaking. And, you know, God came to me and he said, I'm not saying frankly, you know, was to... this lady, I was in treatment. I was at Amethyst. I did Amethyst for 3 years.
3 years?
Yes, ma'am. And I graduated. I came out of there, and everything that I put in it, I got out.
Good.
You know, I was doing Amethyst the same time that I was doing Catch Court. And I successfully graduated both of those programs, and Catch Court was 2 years. But one of the things is that, you know, once I started to, I lost track here. Hold on. Okay, anyway, once I started, you know, to doing my motivational speaking and things like that, and I noticed that the ladies that were in treatment, you know, wanted to be a part of the events that I was doing. You know, even when I was speaking with Channel 10, Channel 4, Channel 6, you know, different things like that, all that started to arrive. You know, and God said to me, he said, you know what, do some type of outreach, you know, do something like that. And I went and I got some business cards made, and on the business cards, I put the Freeman Project. And the reason I put the Freeman Project, this lady told me in treatment at Amethyst, her name is Miss Linda. She said, you know what? She said, God don't show me. She said, one day you won't have a project. She said, and it's going to be called the Freeman Project. She said, I can see it and I'm going to speak it into the universe. And I was just like, yeah, okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like, yeah, okay. So once I got confirmation from God, and I actually got these business cards made, or outreach cards, you know, whatever you want to call them. I went out and I beat the street on the west side, the east side, southeast, north.
Did you go to south side?
Southeast.
No, she said southeast. She went all the way to
She
the
was-
I'm gonna keep real. No,
She stopped at
maybe they made their way down to Maine. You know what I'm saying? Oh, no, what it is.
We gonna go on that south side.
But guess what? Guess what though? They make their way around, just like I did. Just like I did. They make their way around. But one of the things is I start passing the cars out, and women start calling.
They looking for help.
Women start calling, and I met a lady at the Salvation Army. Her name was Nika Brown. She's from New York. She's a recovering addict as well, and she had an apartment. It was a 2-bedroom apartment, and she had 9 women in her apartment
Helping the women.
On Livingston and LA.
Wow.
Do you hear what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know exactly where that is.
And I met her, and she heard me when I was talking at the Salvation Army, and she came up to me and she said, I want to let you in on what I'm doing. And so the way that I went in, she was like, I want you to be my CEO. But everybody in the house was calling me Warden.
Oh.
You know, because when I walked in, you know, I'm business attire. That's just the way, you know, that I was going out every day, was in business attire. So, you know, once you know, we was doing that and everything, at the same time, I was still in the mindset of the Freeman Project because I had something different to do. What I had to do, as she, like I said, I would get up at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. I still answer my phone 24/7 around the clock. Women call me in desperation, or they been raped, or this and that, and I'll go get them. I'm not going to say all the time that it's somewhere to take them, and that's heartfelt, but that's something too that I plan on working on is an emergency safe house for women.
I love it.
Because one of the things is, when we get the women, okay, and she had the house, that was fine. The house is not there anymore.
Right.
But because of reasons, because of detox.
Beyond control.
Beyond control. But at the same time, I was getting the women and I was taking them to the health department. I was paying for the birth certificates. I was doing the social security cards. And this came out of my pocket. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Taking them, to go look for jobs, different things like that. Taking them for assessments to get into programs, different things like this. But all of it ain't nothing that I had to open a book and read about. It was just the same thing that I had to walk through. So that's what made it easy for me. So the Freeman Project, that's still what I do today. And today, I still meet the women basic needs and things like that. I still go over to the Salvation Army. I still go over to Amethyst. I still go to Catch Court, and I do all of that because that's what works.
And I love it. And because we're running out of time, I want you to tell people.
No.
I know. I need another hour for this. Right?
Y'all know I can talk, right?
Hey, but hey, we love it. We was from
8:30 to 3.
We can talk, okay? However, I want you to tell people where you will be. Just tell them where you will be, where they can see you, where they can hear you speak. Tell the people how they can contact you if they are a woman and they may need services or direction, if they might have addiction issues. Because one of my things was that you did Amethyst for 3 years,
yes, ma'am,
and you did Catch Court for 2 years. That's 5 years of an addiction program. And my thing is, I always say that I think that people leave the treatment programs too soon. And then they relapse. Look at her, 5 years that she had to, and she still goes to AA meetings and things like that because she takes the other women, but hey, guess what? It's for her too.
That's right.
Tell people where they can find you, how they can get a hold of you.
Oh, you can get a hold of me at area code 614-622-3323. My email is barbarafreeman71@gmail.com. I do a lot of motivational speaking. I also speak at various meetings, AA, CANA. I'll do any meeting to keep me sober if I'm struggling for the day. Also, I will be at the Worthington High School on the 27th of this month. I will be at the Hyatt May the 21st. I will be, just to let you the air know that I am Women of Achievement for the YWCA. That will be held at the Convention Center on April the 2nd. And afterwards, it will be an after party, a sober one at that. So anybody that's sober want to come, and hang out and do some fun stuff. But please, ladies, or if you are in desperate need, just to talk, a shoulder to lean on. If you've been raped or you out there in the streets or you just tired, give me a call. Like I said, area code 614-622-3323. I answer my phone at all times. Be blessed.
I love it. Mila, you got anything coming up? No, you got nothing coming up? Nothing at all?
I mean, I don't have any major engagements. I'll be at the Ohio State University this Friday, which is what, the 28th?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, 28th.
Speaking to a sociology class on deviant behavior. It's an upper level class, just sharing the information about human trafficking, sex trafficking, labor trafficking. There's all types of trafficking.
Yeah.
So I'm just in the business of getting the word out and hopefully helping someone. But the more that the community knows about it, and I'm really big on people understanding that, prostitutes are victims.
Yes.
Yeah.
Prostitutes are victims, and for so long, even I, would look at dirty women, these nasty women, crackhead women. I wish they get up making the block look all tacky and dirt. And yeah, but stop and pray for that woman.
That's right.
Yeah.
Stop and pray while you about to get in.
Offer her something.
Offer her something. Because you know what? I volunteer through Corsi, which is through the Salvation Army, and it's Central Ohio Rescue and Restore Coalition. You can look it up. Mm-hmm. And they have all types of things you can do to get involved. I mean, you don't necessarily have to do speaking engagements. You can go with them on the truck. They go out at night and just hand the women goodie bags.
I love that.
And you could go to the well center where the women who are still struggling
on Tuesdays.
Tuesdays can drop in, and you can make them lunch. That's something I'm gonna start working on. Get my girls together. We can make some lunches for the ladies, and just all that.
I love everything that everyone is doing. You know that I'm with you, and I come get me anytime. I'm here. Whatever. I will be at Prevail Respect Conference March 29th, 9 to 4 315 Cleveland Avenue, Columbus State Community College Conference Center. That's March 29th, 9 to 4. You can also find me on Kahari Free at Last every Sunday at 7 p.m. on Bounce 23 TV. You can also find me on WCRS 98.3 and 102.1 every Sunday night at 10 p.m. I want to tell you all thank you and take care of yourselves as well as each other until the next time we are listening in.
All right.
TalkTimidRadio.com, the world's greatest radio. Radio the way it should be heard.
That was awesome.
Woohoo! You got to come back.
Thank you.
I ain't even get to all my questions.